Hey everybody, I wanted to give you a quick update. I've been filming a lot, but editing nothing, so I haven't posted anything for a bit. But I have some exciting news. The Tennessee State Forestry Department is coming out to put in the fire break next week. It's the end of October 2024, and they're coming in to put in the full fire break circle around 25 acres, a portion of our property, to protect it from forest fires. And it's not just to protect it from forest fires, it's to allow them to do a controlled burn so that the burn will stop when it gets to this, which will reduce the overall forest fire risk for that 25 acres. So we got some work to do today to get ready for them to come, so let's take a quick hike and then we'll do some footage from within the skid steer as I work it. So this portion here I put in of the fire break, it was very steep. I had to bring in some fill to make it safer to bring the skid steer up through here, and that got me up to this hill. But now we got all this woods to clear, and I've done the same thing that I've done on our other forest paths. I've cut some stuff off. This is probably 7 feet high, so I can push it over a little easier, but we don't have as many big thick stumps through here, and only a few pines. I did do a flush cut as somebody had recommended on a couple of them, but on some smaller ones I left them up so I can get the whole root system out. Here you can see the legacy fire break and logging path was actually all clear. I'll be able to drive, right through this whole 20-foot section without doing anything. But we've got about, my guess is 400 feet of this to go. We have to push some logs out of the way that I cut the other day, but that's what we're clearing to get to the fire break, where they will bring their bulldozer and go down one of these steep ridges. And I know the camera doesn't show this, but you don't even walk down that without holding on to trees, and they're going to take their bulldozer down that. So my hat's off to them, but we'll hopefully get that on film next week. But this part I'm going to clear out with the skid steer. So let's get in the cab and do some shooting. All right, let's go. To give you some idea, I filled this in with some fill that I got from other parts of the property, and I'm still, this is a 15% grade right here, 20, back to 15, 12, 15. It's about 15 degrees now, so much less steep, but I'll tell you, as a rookie operator, that still feels pretty high. So let's see how we do here. We got a few small things to take out. Hopefully they come out easy. Well, that one sure did. So we'll be able to flip that up out of the way. I split it in half instead of getting the whole thing out. Let's take the little. There we go. This next one. It's pine. Not coming out of the soil though. It's so hard to see where the corner actually is. And this is where a stump bucket would be nice, but I also have some grading to do up here, so I'd be switching between the stump bucket and the regular bucket, which is again why I like the tilt attachment so much. I could maybe go at a more severe angle with the tilt, maybe get under it a little bit better. Obviously you can't put as much pressure on it as with the tilt bucket. I don't know, there's really no pound rating on this tilt attachment. But in general, I like it quite a bit. Let's try and get at it again. Let's go a little harder. That's when it lifts the cab up like that. That's what makes me nervous, because I am still on the slope a little bit.
Man, that thing does not want to come out. Come on, baby. It's funny. Open. Level out our work surface here a little bit, so we're going to go back somersaulting. Although we're only at 10 degrees, and when you're working, it feels so much deeper than that. So we're going to up this up a little bit, and we'll bump it to that hole where the root was. And now we'll try this big one. Now, yesterday, I tried this one while the whole tree was standing. I tried to get up as high as I could. Could I just push it over? And I could not. It just started to break. So it wasn't becoming unrooted at all. So we're probably going to have to dig at this one a little bit before we start. So let's see what we can take out with the tilt along each edge. I could get by this and come at it from up, which I could. Yeah, I can squeeze through here. So let's pull out some of this small stuff, and we'll come back. I'm at about a 15-degree right to left slope. That's about my comfort level at the moment. And especially since you sometimes got to get the bucket up high for some of these trees. See if I can get that bigger pine now. some of this earth from the uphill side and put it on the downhill side. So we're going to slope our bucket a little bit. Let's take some of that out. Leveling the earth you're clearing up with a stump bucket would be really hard. I suppose you could do some actual digging and so on with it, but I really like being able to just scoop up the dirt at an angle that I want. Towards that big pine tree. We're going to try pushing it the other way, but also got to get that stump out of the way. And this is one of those cases where is it easier to get out and move it or pick it up? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. And again, I'm trying to minimize the trees that get damaged here. So I don't want the fire break to be any wider than it needs to be, and I don't want to damage any trees I don't have to. So I am trying to do just what's required for the fire break. And so far, the Forestry Service did check out what I had done initially and said, hey, it's all good. So that's good. The trick is, will it also pass the NRCS, USDA NRCS inspection? So after they do their work, they'll have to come out and check it out. So I think it's about as good as we can get. We need that. Now the big one. Let's see if we can just push it over. Yep. Sometimes you gotta just hit it from two sides. So we dug out the corner, and now we can just take it out. Very good. Excellent. No, maybe a tilt bucket with a grapple would be nice. Of course, the only problem is I don't have enough hydraulic control, so. I think I'm actually going to cheat on that and take it out by hand. We'll leave that there. Let's get back to where we can turn around. This was a pretty good area to control. There we go. We already have 20 feet done. We'll do some more leveling, but that's a good start there. We're at about a 10-degree pitch downhill here. So let's take a little bit of this and fill in our work area. A lot of organic, so that's all going to rot away and compress, but for now, it'll help us from tilting too much. Let's see what kind of soil this one's in. And just push it. Oh, pretty easy. Right over. So let's pull up the side a little bit. Let's see if we can two thunder in. There's not enough horsepower there to even at full throttle. So we'll just have to do a little digging here next to it. Let's take that bucket and see if we can pick out some of that root. Without hitting the whole tree. Now, this still may not be wide enough when I'm all done, and the Forestry Service will then come through with their bulldozer and make it a teeny bit wider. It just won't pop that baby. Did pretty good at first. Okay, we'll take out a little root over here. Let's see if we can position ourselves to get the bucket. So again, we're working in a very narrow area. The bucket's 6 feet wide. The fire break's supposed to be 10. I really only want to make it 10. I don't want to make it 12. So I'm trying to keep it as narrow as possible. And, again, damage as few trees as I can. And also not do a backflip down the mountain. Working in a tight little space. I think I want to back up and make this area just a teeny bit bigger. Tell you what, when the skid steer rocks like that, it just makes me so nervous. Even though at the moment my angle is not particularly severe, it feels severe, and it just makes you nervous. And, so the only advice I can give you is don't do anything that makes you too nervous. So try and keep your work area as big as you can make it, as safe and as flat as you can make it. If you need to make it a little more flat, then do that. And there's no shame in getting out of the skid steer to look around either. You need to try something a little bit different at a different angle and get out and check it out. Alright, loose a little bit there. There we go, success. And look at that, we're gonna have like another 50 feet. And I can see, that's the problem. You can always be watching where you're going. I am not so good at that. So I'm going to get out for a second and just assess then on what my situation is. How much clearance do I really have behind me, in front of me, and a I'll just take my gloves and I'm just going to roll that stump out of the way. Because sometimes it's just easier to do stuff by hand, especially when you're on a hill. So stand by. And here's how misleading things can be. I got out, and that was actually still very rooted to the ground. One small piece that, I physically couldn't lift up. So we will use the skid steer and get this thing flipped out of here and out of the way. Come on. All right. That's good enough. We can get it out of here. It'll stay stuck on there. Let's drag it out of the way. Push it down the hill. And later we'll come by with the grapple and clean all this up, because we will have to do some burn work before they even do their prescribed burn. So we're going to have a bunch of stumps to burn and clean up. But now we just need to level this off a little bit. Fill in the stump hole. And we'll be ready to do another 20 or 30 feet there without doing really anything. That would be nice. So let's see if we can just back float this a little without tipping us over too much. Using the back leveling, which you press the right hand trigger to do. I don't know what that's called officially, so look that up. Let's just look that up just a teeny bit more. Going a little more to our downhill side, so I'm going to shake it down on that side of the bucket and dump it. And we'll come back up here. And we'll float it one more time. Just back up, spread that out. Now for this, while it's pretty clear, it's not very level and will erode. So we do probably need to take a little bit of material from the left-hand side and be putting it onto the right-hand side, but it'll be easier to do that down the hill, I think. But let's take a little. Every little bit we do, the easier it'll be later. Fill that in. One thing that I've noticed is that in this deep shade in the afternoon, it's kind of hard to see with the backup camera where anything is. So you do sometimes actually have to just get out and go look, because it's like, I don't see my path. So that's where clearing the path sometimes is very helpful, because you can see the dirt path that you cleared out, the clay or the topsoil or whatever it is that you're clearing, compared to the other surface, whatever your local surface is. So we're sitting at about 10 degrees uphill right now. It's not nerve-wracking, it's not level, so you need to be careful so you don't have a sudden angle change, but it's a little uncomfortable for a rookie operator. Just doing a little left to right leveling here, just to, so I don't feel like I'm too tilted left to right. Let's see that it's stump out, I think. Yes, good. Give us just a little extra breathing room through there. All right. that was an easy 50 feet. Gotta like that. On this next part, we've got to cut off pine stump I gotta go over. So, and it's about the middle, so I think we're good enough that we could go over it, but it would be good to fill kind of some dirt around it. So first we gotta get rid of some of these logs. And this is where my expertise is not very good. How do I get that log picked out of there? With a bucket. Probably should have made that log shorter. It's wider than the bucket. So anytime I hit a tree, it's probably going to get knocked off. So let's see if we can squeeze by here. I don't know if you can see this.
Well, I'll tell you what, we got a lot farther than I thought we would so quickly. These are the last 2 trees I cut the other day, and I thought it would take me all day to get to it, and we're probably here in only about an hour. So I actually have to get the chainsaw out and make some decisions on how am I going to get through the rest of this to get to where I have my next set of cuts. I was working the opposite direction, and I cut from that way coming this way, but I can't get the skid steer there. So now I gotta decide how to get through all this. And I'll tell you, it's a tough call. You've got some spindly pines that are just not that healthy that I could get rid of, but then you got an oak tree that if I got rid of the pines, then maybe the oak tree would do better. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. It's time to go get the chainsaw and make some decisions on how to get from there to there. Well, it's about 6 o'clock, and my advice is never make decisions or proceed on difficult things at the end of the day. But I'm going to violate that rule and try and finish this last little bit. I can probably work till 6:30. So let's see how it goes. I cut down those trees. Now I gotta try and blaze my way through there. I did stump cut the pines, so hopefully it'll be easier. So let's see how it goes. Got to get to the area where I can actually turn around and face the direction I want to go. It's a little wider here. So cut down all the trees, cut the pines flat, but we still have this mess I hit at the beginning. Kind of do some cleanup to get to where we left off. And this is where we left off right here. This is a 25-degree angle right here. I bet I should have stump cut that one. Boy. Can I pull it over? Ooh. Even that is feeling tippy. That's not even 15 degrees right here. Stuff going uphill is not my favorite way of doing stuff. Let's see if I can squeeze by if I can. Alright, get it up right now. So that's over the stumps. Oh boy. So we're now over the stumps. Narrow. this debris before I tackle that next group of stumps, and then we're almost to the end. Just get them out of the way so I can safely push on this one. So this is the same kind of tree that just pushed over on the second attempt. Every time it's different though. Oh, that one pushed over easy. It's coming up right underneath. So the whole root ball came up easy there. This whole thing just came up. Couldn't see it because I need like an over the bucket and an under the bucket camera. So let's push this one. This one. This is the last big one. got here. We got a few small ones to take care of, and we will have accomplished what I wanted to today in about 4 hours. It's a couple 100 feet of trail in 4 hours. Not level, not set for drainage and erosion and everything else, but cleared so that I can start to do some erosion control and grading like that. So it's better than it was. I'll now be able to drive the UTV farther in with my chainsaw and stuff to work on things, so that'll be good. But, you know, overall, other than not remembering that I still had trees to cut down, I think today was pretty successful. Let's see what we got here. There's a few stragglers. Successful here. We can now drive through. I think this is going to have to be a little wider. That's only 6 feet. I got to get 10 feet wide. These didn't come out. Yeah, that bumpy part was the stumps of the pine trees. It just doesn't seem to have the pull power that my buddy's Dash 2 does. That is. The height, the RPMs. Let's go. It's not going to be down. It's broken it out. It's just broken. It's not what I want. I wanted the thing to come out. I'm sitting on top of those pine stumps. It's just perspective, rested. We'll get this cleaned up and make sure everything's a little bit wider. And then we'll be all set for our forestry department to come on Tuesday. In about 4 days. Today is Friday. So. All right, with that, it's time to head home into the sunset. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.